Hello, my puzzle loving friends. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to our conclusion of our Titanic 1000 piece puzzle. During this video, you will see us complete our puzzle and you'll see the completed puzzle itself. I know we have two pieces missing. Either our puzzle monster got to them or they just didn't come with the puzzle. It does happen that you don't receive all the puzzles or you receive extra pieces. So I am a little down that I'm missing those two pieces, but it happens. They weren't very a big important part of the solution of the puzzle, so no big deal. As you look at our completed puzzle, you can kind of see some of the clues. And going through the solution from our storybook, which if you purchase the puzzle, which will be page 12, we see some of these solutions in our puzzle, or some of the clues, sorry, in our puzzle. So we have our gun with the cork still in there, which obviously is letting us know it was not fired that night. We have handkerchiefs, and then we have a ketchup bottle. The handkerchiefs look like they have blood in them, but the ketchup bottle could have supplied what looked like blood when you cough into the handkerchiefs themselves. We have both dresses, the rose dress and the black dress, which both of them wouldn't be here unless one of the twins undressed the other. We have the necklace that was in Gwendolyn's possession when the order to don life jackets was given. We also see little just knickknacks. We see the coin purse as well. We see the both pairs of shoes, which is also part of the undressing part of the clues. So given everything here, what the solution is telling us is that Gloria killed Gwendolyn. So Gloria, on the night of the Titanic, struck her sister with the ashtray hard enough or in a vulnerable, fatal spot that she accidentally killed her. I don't understand the whole point of the story. Like, I get the murder, she killed her sister. I don't understand why she took her sister's identity. They don't really go into detail of why she would do that. Like, what's the point of taking your sister's identity? There's no big reason why. It also mentions in our solution that she does end up marrying Adam Lipton. Remember, this is Gloria pretending to be Gwendolyn. Gloria, throughout the whole story, kept saying how she didn't trust Adam Lipton. He was a fortune hunter. He couldn't be trusted. But then she marries him. So I was like, okay, I guess. To each their own, right? Adam Lipton is, or in the story states, is from Australia. So she uses that as the reason as her consumption clears. The weather, the warm air, the dry air, kind of cured her of her consumption. So she has that kind of explained out why she doesn't have it any longer as she gets older. In the story, it kind of mentions why she finally confessed, and it's guilt. That's understandable to me. I get it. You're guilty. Could have said it sooner. I wonder if she ever told Adam Lipton who she really was. Probably not. So I'm like, okay, you waited till your dying bed. I get it. You know, dying bed confession makes sense. The one thing when we were reading the story originally is I kind of guessed this is going to be our solution was the gesture that texted at the end by referencing Gloria's mole on her neck. If you remember the story, Tex did mention that was the only thing different about the twins, that Gloria did have that mole on her neck. So as the Titanic was sinking, And Tex did that gesture. He was letting Gloria know, I know it's you. Like, you can't fool me. I know it's you. So that is our story. It was the sister who killed the sister. I didn't find the story very exciting. It didn't really have a lot of depth. I would have liked more of a, oh my gosh, kind of ending. The ending of the story when we left off on the last video kind of set it up that, okay, it's going to be Gloria who killed her sister, especially with text / gesture. We know it's Gloria. I wish the story would have just given us more details of why she took her sister's identity and she didn't just go on the lifeboat as herself. It doesn't really explain that. But I love the puzzle. The puzzle was so much fun to complete, especially not having that picture reference. It was difficult, but I really enjoyed it. It took a little longer than I would have liked it to take, but it was so much fun. If you want to do this puzzle yourself, of course you can reference this video and see the completed puzzle. After I completed this puzzle, I did go online to check. There are images, Google, on Reddit. You can also find the image of the puzzle as kind of your reference if you'd want to go ahead and buy the puzzle and do it yourself. One of the main reasons I enjoyed this puzzle is I do really enjoy history. The Titanic is one of those parts of history that really interest me, especially it's just one of those things like how could this have happened? How could all those people have died? So I've watched a lot of documentaries, I read books, I've watched the movies. I've done a lot to learn about the Titanic. So I'm just going to go ahead and just give some facts. It's always good to know some facts, right? So at 11:40 p.m. on the night of April 14th, 1912, on Titanic's maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, it did strike an iceberg, which did lead to its sinking. It was around 2:20 a.m. When the Titanic finally did sink beneath the Atlantic Ocean. This disaster did cost a loss of about 1,500 lives, which is about 2/3 of the people on board. On the Titanic, for 24 hours, about 14,000 gallons of drinking water was used. So every 24 hours, they used about 14,000 gallons of drinking water. There are about 40,000 number of fresh eggs on board. There was also about 1,000 bottles of wine on board. The Titanic was equipped to carry 64 lifeboats. It was actually only carrying 20. On the first boat that launched, it only carried 28 people. The lifeboats had a capacity of at least 65. The Titanic could carry about 3,547 people. On its maiden voyage, it was carrying about 2,223. There are 13 honeymooning couples on that voyage. People did, of course, cancel their passes or tickets to Titanic, and there are 20 people who canceled their trip aboard Titanic for different reasons. I bet you they were super happy about that. Who was the richest passenger on Titanic? And that would be Colonel John Jacob Astor IV. He was the wealthiest person on board, and he was actually believed to be the wealthiest person in the world at that time. His estimated wealth was between $90 and $150 million, which today would have made him a billionaire. He did die in the sinking of the Titanic, and his body was found later on when they went back for recovery. For the sinking, before the collision, there are about 6 iceberg warnings the Titanic received. It took, from the moment it hit that iceberg, about 160 minutes to completely submerge into the Atlantic, which is about 2 hours and 40 minutes. The seawater was about 2 degrees Celsius in the area that the Titanic sank. Of the passengers and crew, 31.6% survived, and included in that number are 2 dogs. 2 dogs survived the Titanic as well. There were lap dogs taken aboard lifeboats by their owners. Today, approximately 6,000 artifacts have been recovered from the wreck site, and it lays about 18 meters beneath the seabed. So those are just some quick facts. If you want a lot more information or a lot more or in-depth information on this, of course, you can watch documentaries. Like I said, there's so much on the internet regarding the sinking. So please go ahead, reach out, use everything you can to learn more about this if you'd like. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. This is going to be my last video that I will put out. So I want to thank all my puzzle loving friends for joining me on this journey, for watching, for supporting me. I really, really enjoyed doing these puzzles, and I hope you all enjoyed watching them as well. So hope you all have a great day, and see you soon.